Oh, hey, yo, welcome to the Uncle Show, and today we got something really good. So when I was learning about metal cardbots, there were two figures that I really wanted to get. One was Blast Train, who I reviewed previously and adored, and second was today's subject matter, Taki. And Taki got a lot of attention simply because she was the first female cardbot to join the franchise. I was a bit surprised to see it took until season 3 to introduce one. In fact, Cardbot has had robots voiced by women, with designs that honestly wouldn't be too out of field as female designs, that it led to some confusion. I guess I'm used to other mecha anime and cartoons these days either having a female pilot join the mix from the start or one of the bots being female, that it surprised me it took a while. Then again, I guess it is better than the competition where Hello Cardbot only introduced a female robot in season 15, and Tobots, which arguably started the Korean transforming robot craze, and got one. So it's no surprise that Taki has made the rounds, especially given that she has a really fun personality, being very energetic with a lot of cat-like movement, pretty much effortlessly mogging the competition, especially given that the Hello Cardbots one doesn't even have a face.
Give me a face, you f***ing bungholes!
And there was a lot of intrigue about what her toy would be like, given female transforming figures can be a touchy subject, more on that later. And also, she gained a lot of intrigue for her appealing design. I also got the chance to mess with her a bit at TFCon LA because I accidentally bumped into that toy guy and I stupidly didn't recognize him. I would have asked for a photo with him, but he let me mess with his figure for a bit, which was very nice. And you know what else is very nice? I just want to tell you that this video is sponsored by JP Fans. Yes, the people at JP Fans have kindly reached out for a collaboration and promotion, and it couldn't be more perfect. Have you ever tried to shop online for something that's only available in Japan, only to find out that your options are some goblin overcharging it on an auction site, or it's only available overseas with absurd shipping costs? JP Fans is an online proxy shipping service that not only charges a smaller service fee per order compared to other proxy services, but it also has a much nicer user interface than a lot of other sites, plenty of alternate language options, worldwide shipping, 60 days of item storage before shipping, and additional Mercari discount coupons up to 50% off. This is especially great for me because I particularly love the Bandai SMP model kits, but those haven't had a proper US release and as a result get massively upcharged. So a service like this is a great way for me to pick up other model kits, Blu-rays, makeup, clothing, 1970s jazz CDs, and more. And by clicking the affiliate link in the description or the pinned comment, you'll get 8 coupons worth up to $86 if you register an account. And you clicking that link also helps my channel out financially so I can keep making videos. There's something for everyone on JP Fans, so register today. Thank you so much. If you get subscribed and get notified, you'll not only see new reviews, but you can also tune into live streams where I film footage for future videos. Any super chats will also be featured in the video as well. Also, if you like the video, please give a like and comment. Your engagement helps support this channel. Now, back to the video. Right out of the box, this figure looks absolutely stunning. Kind of impressive that SMG went from those early blocky blokes from the first season wave to being able to make something a lot more naturalistic and rounded is quite impressive. And I love the color scheme. Black and yellow is already a winning color scheme, as we probably already know for Transformers. And yeah, there's no getting around this. She's quite an appealing design, but doesn't go too overboard. Her chest size, and yes, I'm going to comment on this, I'll keep it tasteful though, is a bit more pronounced, but doesn't go too far. What is exaggerated are her legs. Wow! Those are thighs that can crush a watermelon, but at the same time, there's a reason for it. These thick thighs are actually bearing a lot of the transformation. Finding a way to look attractive while also integrating the transformation in a way that makes sense? Say the toys could never. Oh, but wait, we gotta talk about the backpack, I guess. Oh my, the backpack, and this is a big backpack. But I think we need to have a quick discussion because a lot of people freak out at the mere notion of a female Transformer having a backpack because apparently every single female Transformer is thrilling 30 RC now. Time for a quick rant? Give me a bit. Backpacks are a common way of kibble management for both female and male robots alike. And there are lazily done backpacks, from most of the alt mode being on there, to parts forming pieces, to stuff that gets in the way of articulation, to outright abominations. But also, backpacks can do a lot to add a presence and a silhouette to a figure too. Controversially, I think without backpacks, most of the G1 female robots wouldn't stand out too much. Windblade has always had a backpack, but her wings add a great sense of presence to her. Stronger has a huge backpack, but it fits her bulky bruiser look. Minera and Alita 1 have a backpack too, but it's managed in a way that's restrained while also giving some shoulder presence. But as well, sometimes you gotta put the parts for the transformation somewhere, and if you can organize it so that it looks neat and tidy, then a backpack is no problem in my eyes, male or female. SS86 Prime has a pretty chunky backpack. Am I gonna badmouth that figure? Of course not. Even RC, the queen of backpacks on figures, even in third party, can have it so that her backpack can be managed in a way that actually looks nice and give a distinct silhouette, whether in G1 form, her animated form, or her Prime version. Sorry for this bit of rambling, but I don't know, I guess it just annoyed me how much people seem to think the sole problem with female Transformers are the backpacks, when no, it's more so lazy reusage of molds that were already showing their age, or male bodies, or molds that weren't good to begin with. Especially for Taki, as the backpack doesn't get in the way of articulation at all and looks fine from multiple angles. Even when you store her weapons in her backpack, she still looks pretty reasonable, and still fits her kind of sporty athlete look. But it's one thing to look nice. How does it feel to play with? Alright, so, articulation. We have a nice little ball jointed head with some really good looking forward. She can motorboat herself and decent looking up. Arms go all the way 360. They can T-pose. Elbows go a little bit more than 90. Wrists are on ball joints, which is nuts. Probably one of the craziest bits for the articulation. A arching back. And they still put like a lot of armor underneath too, so that it looks a lot more seamless. That's like third party stuff. That's really cool. I do wish there was a way to kind of crunch forward, waist swivel. That's on a ratchet, like a very soft ratchet. Tail, it's on a hinge, it goes up and down. And the rest of the tail's also on a hinge. I get why it's not on a ball joint for the transformation, but I wish it was on a ball joint. Ratcheted legs go back and forth really nicely. Armor does get in the way of the split, so just be wary of that as you're sort of moving it around. Knees are double bending. Double bend at the knees. Look at that. And then there is rotation at the foot. And there's a ratchet at the foot too. So going back really far, go up a bit, and a little bit of an ankle pivot. Articulation on this thing is a dream come true. Compared to the other Cardbots I've messed with so far, she's so fluid, so much more poseable. Almost any kind of pose you want to do with her, you can get. I do wish there was an ab crunch just because I think that would push this thing into unreal levels. But when I'm asking for a piece of articulation that's usually only for transformation and very sporadic, even on Transformers, that shows it gets a lot right. The sheer amount of poseability on this thing is incredible. Have a gallery of her in action. Oh, the Jacko pose from Chaffee. There you go. Just woke up, felt like doing some bribery. But yeah, there you go, a little Jacko pose for you. We're gonna bring up the card, the eponymous metal card. The way these weapons work is actually pretty cool. So you take these out, rotate the paw, and if you look closely at the paw, I don't know if you can see that. There you go. If you look closely, the paws actually extend as you bring them out. That's really cool. And then you just rotate the hands up, and there's a little tab. You can connect them in. So you just take that off. And now, there we go. So you rotate this, bring down the foot somehow. No, you don't. You actually have to rotate it like that. And then you got a little heel there. So let's do that again. Ratcheted, by the way, which is nuts for an accessory. And then what you want to do, get the feet as straight as you can and dip them down a little bit, not too far down, not too far up, because the way the connection works. connect the foot in. And then you just clamp this on. And then, final step, you just flick down that and you got a battle mask. And that looks so cool. That is a really cool design. It just baffles me that that thing at its MSRP, half the price. Half the price. That's insane. My God, this thing just gets better and better the more I dive into it. So much articulation, so much play value, and for a good price too. Kind of more on that later. And we haven't even transformed her yet. Okay, so this transformation's actually remarkably a little bit more complex than you'd think. So we gotta take this bit out, and I think, yeah, we rotate that inward and then get that ready. And we actually have to use the ab crunch a lot to kind of get this into shape. No, we got to use the back crunch quite a bit to get this into shape. And then what we want to do is use the double knees and bring up the tail. Is put this in like that. That feels a lot more sensible. Let's get this tail out of the way. And then we bring this around. And, oh yeah, we can connect the feet there. And then we can think and start collapsing the car in a little bit more. So I actually jumped the gun a little bit. We were actually supposed to connect these in like that, and that's how the tail integrates. How do arm? No. Actually, it is pretty nutty. You actually have to straighten them out and get like this attached on top, and then you connect this and you gotta rotate it out. And then you take this, fold it out, and that just forms the front of the car. Which, parts forming, yeah, but at the same time, it's the weapon. I feel less bad about it. And also, once you do get it all hooked up and in there, my God, once you get it all in there, and also just make sure everything's connected, ha ha! It's still cool. I adore this car mode. It's very similar to Blue Cop, just a lot more involved, and I think a little cleaner. The way everything compresses and seeing what becomes what on the car is really impressive. Like, how does this so flawlessly become this? The arms are clearly visible, but weirdly integrate so well. And yes, there is the parts forming and backpack, but that's just a small part of the overall package. You'd still do so much. It's not like Earthrise Bumblebee where the entire back half is removable. Do I recommend you pick this up? Absolutely, yes. But maybe wait for the US release. I tried to order this off a proxy service called K Friday, and word of advice, don't use K Friday. So hopefully the next two waves come out soon so we can get some decent prices, especially because there's a combiner and another train. Oh. But tell me, what did you think of this figure? And how do you feel about it in comparison to other female Transformers? Let me know in the comments, and please subscribe.